Hi, my name is Irismar de Oliveira and I have just created a new channel on YouTube. The purpose of this channel is to present weekly videos in which I will talk about cognitive therapy techniques. There are two types of cognitive therapy that I master. One is Beck's cognitive therapy and the other is trial-based cognitive therapy, or TBCT, that was created by myself. Anyhow, both have something in common, and the techniques are pretty much the same. The idea of creating this channel was born recently through the invitation of a Brazilian publisher so that I could supervise the translation into Portuguese of the second edition of Robert Leahy's book, Cognitive Therapy Techniques. What made me think of recording these weekly videos was the realization that there are numerous techniques of cognitive therapy that most people do not actually use. Robert Leahy describes in his book 114 Cognitive Therapy Techniques. One thing I noticed was that although TBCT has only 10 techniques of its own, it covers about 60% of all Leahy's techniques. How can this be explained? The very simple reason is that each TBCT technique integrates not only a number of conventional CBT techniques, but also techniques from several other psychotherapeutic approaches like Gestalt or psychodrama. I'll take just one example. Let us think of the main technique of TBCT, which is the trial itself. To the extent that the therapist uses the trial, in fact, 12 or more different conventional techniques are being used without our having to think about them. When I created TBCT, one of the ideas I had in mind was to create a model of therapy that was even more structured than conventional CBT. In fact, what we have achieved has been the implementation of a cognitive model that is simpler for the patient to understand and, at the same time, easier for the therapists to implement in their clinical practice. As I said, my intention is to record one video per week in each of these four languages: English, Portuguese, Spanish, and French. To summarize, the purpose of these videos will be to describe the CBT techniques. They will be short videos of an approximately 5-minute duration. Today, I would like to begin very briefly with the cognitive model. Since the creation of cognitive therapy, Beck has focused primarily on cognitions. In the face of a situation, event, or stimulus, this information is processed by what Beck called automatic thoughts. Automatic thoughts are the way we perceive this stimuli in the absence of reflection. They just pop up into our minds and they bring emotions, behaviors, and physical reactions. What happens is that each emotion or behavior ends up generating other thoughts or eventually new situations. This is the model by which CBT is usually presented. Of course, this model is very simple because it brings advantages that explain the complexity of cognitive therapy a bit more. So what we have here is that when someone has an emotion as a result of a thought, this emotion can generate new thoughts. And a behavior elicited by a thought or an emotion can in turn generate other emotions, other thoughts, and other situations. This is the part that will be contemplated in the next videos, since it deals with automatic thoughts. Next week, I'll talk about cognitive case conceptualization. If you liked this video, please give a thumbs up and, if possible, subscribe to this channel. Once you've subscribed, you get warning emails every time a new video is released. My idea is to bring a new video every Thursday, and in each one of them I'll be talking about the different CBT techniques. See you next week.